It's the go-home week to Starrcade, and we're kicking things off here on Raw. All the men and women that are getting ready for the big show at the end of the week are going to try to get maybe an extra leg up on their opponents, or try to pick up a little bit of a momentum boost. Kicking things off here tonight, we're going to see the Viper, Randy Orton. He'll be in action against Logan Paul. And as we start things off tonight, I want to thank everybody that joined us for Tribute to the Troops. It's been a while since we've done a live stream from the Open Mic Universe. We had a blast. We made some new friends on Twitch and here on YouTube. We got to hang out with some old friends, the people that to me are the foundation of this universe. When this thing was a live streaming universe, they were in streams multiple times a week, and they've been so supportive of me, the universe, and the content no matter where it goes. And ultimately, they're a big reason why I feel we've got a great community. It was a great night, and once again, thank you to everyone who came out to Tribute to the Troops, and know that we'll be doing more events like that in the future. It was a big night for some, a bad night for others. We saw Los Latharios defeat the Trick Mello gang inside of a steel cage. Bianca Belair, before she heads to Starrcade to take on Raquel Rodriguez. She defeated Charlotte Flair via countout. But she had a run-in and some dealings with Raquel Rodriguez that night, as Raquel would attack her on the way to the ring, and then those two would have to be separated after the match by the crack security team here in the Open Mic Universe. We saw CM Punk defeat Ludwig Kaiser. Jey Uso, who will be teaming with R-Truth to take on the LWO Despicable Ray and Dirty Dom at Starrcade. He met Dominic Mysterio one-on-one at Tribute to the Troops and was victorious in that one. RKO from the Viper, hooks the leg. And that will do it. Randy Orton, your winner here this week in our opening match here on Raw. Next, we're going to see Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano. He'll be in singles action this week as he takes on Finn Balor. Interesting to note that Balor coming out here alone. We saw there's been a little bit of an issue going on in the Judgment Day between himself and Damian Priest. Not really sure what the deal is, what the issue is. We saw in their last match, tag team match, they were not on the same page. And even in victory, Finn Balor not maybe thinking that Priest should have made the tag. He didn't. And there was a little bit of shoving between the two. And speaking of Priest, here he is. And that is definitely taking the attention of Johnny Gargano away from Balor. Balor with the roll-up. The referee not able to get a count there. So maybe all things are good. Again, here in the Judgment Day, is rope break there saves Johnny Wrestling. Maybe that was part of the plan. Maybe Priest coming out in the middle of the match. That could have been what was planned all along. Or maybe, we kind of saw Finn was having some trouble with Gargano, and maybe Priest thinking that Finn needed him in his corner. Coup de grace to Johnny Wrestling, Finn. And Finn Balor gets the 1-2-3. Can we give an assist to Damian Priest as Finn just kind of side-eyes him there in the ring? Next, we're going to see Nia Jax. She will be taking on Naomi Nia, who will be challenging for the WWE Women's Championship at Starrcade against Ivy Nile. The rest of the Tribute to the Troops results we saw last week on SmackDown, Seth freaking Rollins, the victim of a backstage beatdown at the hands of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. He went to WWE management and he demanded a match at Tribute to the Troops, and he wanted it to be a handicap match. And somehow, the WWE Intercontinental Champion was victorious as he defeated Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. And then in our main event, a match that was dubbed the Showcase, the Exhibition of Champions by The Miz, who, by the way, is not a champion in our universe. Ivy Nile's music hits, and that is definitely a distraction to Nia as Naomi looks to capitalize, but Nia not having any of it, kick to the gut. But The Miz, who is a former WCW television champion, not currently the champion, but he is walking around with a replica WCW TV title. He challenged the WCW World Champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, to a Champions Exhibition. And Cody, not somebody who will back down from a challenge, and somebody who always wants to get in the ring and give the fans what they want. He accepted the challenge, and no surprise, he was victorious. He defeated The Miz, but after the match, he was jumped by his Starrcade opponent, AJ Styles, and we'll see if maybe Cody, trying to be the people pleaser that he is, taking a challenge like that so close to a huge title defense, will that be something that he looks back on and possibly regrets? It's main event time here, and we're going to get a match that we were supposed to get last week. Jacob Fatu and Sheamus. That match never took place as Jacob Fatu's Starrcade opponent, the Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins, would come out and attack Fatu on his way to the ring. And so it took a week, but we're finally going to get this match in the ring. Big clothesline from Sheamus. Like we said, Rollins putting the Intercontinental title up against the Samoan Werewolf. And when you're dealing with the bloodline, especially this new bloodline that we've seen over the last couple of months, it is literally one versus all. And remember, Rollins is the one guy, the first guy really, that stood up and spoke out and called out The Rock, called out the bloodline. And that mixed with the fact that The Rock kind of blames Rollins for WWE not having the man advantage in War Games at Survivor Series. He's kind of made Seth Rollins' enemy number one. And let's give Rollins credit. As hard as the Bloodline is hit, he has hit back twice as hard. But we know the numbers game that the Bloodline likes to play with. And even though he's getting in there with Jacob Fatu at Starrcade, he's going to have his head on a swivel, because you know that the Bloodline is going to try to use those numbers to their advantage. Sheamus able to jump out of the way. Knee to the face of Jacob Fatu, rolls him over. Almost a 3. Now waits on Fatu to get back to his feet. Celtic cross. Sheamus goes for another cover and steals a page out of the Bloodline playbook by using the middle rope for extra leverage. And Seth freaking Rollins hits the ring and lays out Jacob Fatu. Welcome to WCW NITRO. And kicking things off tonight, we've got the first semifinal ladder match to see who is going to Starrcade to join the Dudleys in the 3-team TLC tag match for the WCW Tag Team Titles. Out first, the New Day, the team that the Dudleys took those titles from. They will be taking on AOP. Akam and Razor, accompanied by their manager, Paul Ellering. Guy who's had a lot of success over the years managing tag team champions. And AOP kind of took them a few months to kind of find their footing after Karrion Kross was drafted over to the WWE. And that put an end to the Final Testament. But they find themselves in a great spot here tonight. Because if they can be the team that retrieves the briefcase hanging over the ring, they've got a huge opportunity awaiting them at Starrcade. Then on the other side, you've got the New Day. Kind of caught a little off guard by the return of the Dudleys. Bubba and Devon were able to take those WCW Tag Team titles from them back at Halloween Havoc in the match that they put on the map, the tables match. You know Kofi and Woods want to get back to that championship level. It took them 2.5 years for them to finally win their first championship in the open mic universe. Kofi now gets to the top of the ladder, trying to get a grip on that briefcase. Akam pushing the ladder over and then takes a chair to the head for his troubles, courtesy of Xavier Woods. And now Kofi out on the floor. Woods with the chair again, gets punched in the throat by Razor. He tries to gather the ladder, but Woods sends him out onto the floor. Kofi. Paul Ellering rolls a kendo stick into the ring. We've got a little bit of everything. Tables, ladders, chairs, kendo sticks. Woods setting the ladder up, and now he's going to try to retrieve the briefcase. Woods gets the briefcase steady and now gets two hands on it He is so close to getting it down. But Razor pushes the ladder over, and Woods goes down to the mat. Now Xavier Woods slammed down on top of the ladder. Now AOP using a chair and a kendo stick. They are now in the driver's seat here. Now Akam going up. Woods is down. Kofi, he's in a seated position, but he looks like he is out. Now finally, Kofi able to get back to his feet. Pulls Akam off the ladder. But Akam driving Kofi Kingston into the mat. And once again, he makes the climb. Woods chokeslammed. And Razor cuts off Kofi before he is able to try to stop Akam. And Akam is able to get the briefcase free. AOP is going to Starrcade, and they will join the Dudley Boyz in TLC. There's one more spot still open. We'll find out later this week on Thunder if it will be the Street Profits or the Motor City Machine Guns that will be joining the fun as well. Bubba and Devon come out and sarcastically congratulate AOP. Next, we're going to see R-Truth with his Starrcade tag team partner, main event Jey Uso in his corner. He'll be taking on Despicable Rey Mysterio. And in his corner, his Starrcade partner and his spoiled brat of a son, Dominic. And Truth here with the early advantage. Back at Tribute for the Troops, we were supposed to see Jay and Ray one-on-one. But Dom, being the spoiled kid that he is, and Ray being the enabling father that he is, Dom said he wanted to take on Jey Uso at Tribute to the Troops. So Ray gave his son what he wanted, and in the end, probably wasn't the wisest move, as Jey Uso, the current WCW United States Champion, and a guy that since he has made his debut in WCW this summer is undefeated in singles action. Truth and Ray both down, and now Jay and Dom hit the ring. And now the referee, wanting to get control of this one, sends Dom to the back and sends Jay to the back as well. Truth not understanding what's going on here. Takes down Ray, goes for a quick cover. Only gets a 2. Again, Truth with another cover. And again, only a 2 count. R-Truth can't believe it. This whole mess between Truth and the LWO all started coming out of Survivor Series, where Dom got on social media and was blaming Truth for WCW losing the men's War Games match. And it wasn't Truth's fault. It was actually AJ Styles that took the pinfall. Ray only gets a 2 as Truth able to get his shoulders up. And then the LWO, Ray and Dom tried to add some insult to injury and take out Truth with a steel chair, but his War Games partner, Jey Uso, would come out and make the save as Ray able to get the 3 count. He picks up the win. We'll see if that has any effect on the tag team match that these 4 will have at Starrcade. Next, it's our main event. We're going to see Jade Cargill. She will have Bianca Belair in her corner taking on Raquel Rodriguez. If you missed Tribute to the Troops, Bianca was on her way to the ring to take on Charlotte Flair, and as she made her way down the aisle, Raquel would jump her from behind. Security would have to remove Raquel, and then after the match, Rodriguez would come back out, and these two would go back and forth before security would come out and separate them. Bianca, knowing all too well how Raquel Rodriguez works, she wanted to be in Jade's corner here tonight and watch her friends back. For Raquel, she's going to definitely have her hands full at Starrcade. She tries to defend her WCW Women's Championship as Jade moves out of the way, clotheslines Raquel down to the floor. Now Jade with a test and show of strength as she easily holds the WCW Women's Champion over her head. For Raquel, this is not a great spot to be in, especially with such a huge championship defense only days away. Jade able to get back in, posing now for the crowd. And that'll do it. Jade Cargill will get the win via countout. Raquel will retrieve her championship. And there is her Starrcade opponent. There's a lot of bad blood between these two. And Bianca Belair could be the one to finally take that championship away from Raquel Rodriguez. We are just days away from Starrcade, and we've got the final WCW show. Before we get there, welcome to Thunder. Tonight we will hear from the WCW World Champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Will he be addressing the WCW for the last time as World Champion? But first, we're going to have our last semifinal match to see who is heading to Starrcade and join the Dudley Boyz and AOP in a TLC tag match for the WCW Tag Team Titles. We've got 2 former championship teams in this one. The Street Profits, former multiple-time WWE Tag Team Champions, as well as one-time WCW Tag Team Champions. Their opponents, the team that became WCW Tag Team Champions by defeating the Street Profits in their debut match in the open mic universe, the Motor City Machine Guns. Earlier this week on Raw, we saw AOP punch their ticket as they defeated the New Day in what a lot of people are calling an upset. The New Day, not only the most recent former WCW Tag Team Champions, they're also the most recent tag team to win a TLC tag match. And Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods almost got it done, but it was Akam and Razor who were able to retrieve the briefcase and earn their biggest opportunity to date in the open mic universe, where they will try to become champions for the very first time. And now we will see if it will be the Street Profits or the Motor City Machine Guns that join them, as Angelo Dawkins gets knocked off the ladder, and Alex Shelley with a splash off the top of the ladder. And now he looks to try to get his hands on the briefcase, but Montez Ford tipping the ladder over. And now the Street Profits, even though Angelo Dawkins not looking too hot there in the corner, but Montez taking control for the Street Profits DDT. Now Alex Shelley looking for another ladder. Cracks Montez Ford with it. Angelo Dawkins suplexes Chris Sabin through a table. As much as we know that the Dudleys are watching this one, you gotta think the New Day probably at home watching this one as well, wondering what if they were able to successfully win their ladder match on Nitro. They might be in a great spot to try to regain their tag team titles, but they're going to have to wait for another day. Is now Chris Sabin not going for the briefcase, but drops an elbow down on Angelo Dawkins. Alex Shelley now setting up a ladder. Sabin with a chair as he cracks it over the skull of Montez Ford. Alex Shelley trying to get a hold of the briefcase. And right now it's looking good for the Machine Guns. And Alex Shelley with the briefcase. The Motor City Machine Guns headed to Starrcade. They now join AOP and the WCW Tag Team Champions, the Dudley Boyz, in a TLC match for the WCW Tag Team Titles. Next, we're going to see Gigi Dolan. She will be in action against Tiffany Stratton. And you know what that means. It is now Tiffy time here on Thunder. Tiffany, a former WCW Women's Champion. Got to think she's going to have her eye on the WCW Women's Championship match at Starrcade, as our champion Raquel Rodriguez looks to defend her championship against Bianca Belair. Tiffy's so close, but only gets a 2 there. And Dolan now with a reversal. Now she is fighting back with a little roll up there. Only gets a 2. Tiffy now, boot to the face. Now she tosses Gigi out onto the floor. And now just slamming her head into that ringside mat. Slams her down again. Throws her back into the ring. And Stratton looking for a quick pinfall here. And that is going to do it. Tiffany Stratton with the win this week against Gigi Dolan. Now it's time to run through the WCW matches coming up at Starrcade. We mentioned it earlier in the show. TLC tag for the WCW Tag Team titles. The champions, the Dudley Boyz, taking on AOP and the Motor City Machine Guns. In tag team action, we've got Jey Uso and R-Truth taking on the team of Despicable Ray and Dirty Dominic Mysterio of the LWO. Raquel Rodriguez, also of the LWO, will defend her WCW Women's Championship against the EST, Bianca Belair. And in our main event, it's going to be the WCW World Champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles in a no disqualification match. And speaking of the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, here he comes, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And over the last couple of months, since these two met at Halloween Havoc, we know that one ended in a very controversial fashion with LA Knight, the special guest referee, a little quick on the count. Cody, after the fact, came out, said, hey, I went back, I watched the tape, and I don't think that was the right way for that match to end. I want to make things right, and he tried. He tried for weeks, and those weeks have really turned into months at this point. He wanted AJ to join Team WCW for War Games at Survivor Series. AJ did finally do so, but he wanted this match, he wanted this rematch, and he wanted it to be a no disqualification match. Let's look back at what just happened over the weekend at Tribute to the Troops. Cody had just defeated The Miz, and AJ would hit the ring and lay both of them out, sending his strongest message to date to Cody. Let's hear what the champ has to say. Cody says he has nothing but respect for AJ Styles and all that he's done for WCW. He tried to right a wrong, he tried to do the right thing, but AJ is too consumed with his own selfish feelings. And if this is how AJ wants to do things, then at Starrcade, he's going to find out why Cody Rhodes is the American Nightmare. Can Cody retain, or will AJ find himself back on top of WCW? We are just hours away from Starrcade. And here on this go-home edition of SmackDown, we're going to kick things off with a match for the WWE Tag Team titles. Los Latharios, who defeated the Trick Mello Gang last weekend at Tribute to the Troops. And as a reward, or maybe a punishment, they will be taking on the WWE Tag Team Champions, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. The Bloodline contractually obligated to defend those Tag Team Championships, since they have yet to do that since winning them from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn over a month ago before Survivor Series. Spear from Tonga Loa. Starrcade could be a big night for the Bloodline. We're going to hear from the High Chief, the final boss, the WWE World Champion, The Rock, later on tonight. As Jacob Fatu will challenge for the Intercontinental title against Seth Rollins. And Nia Jax, who hasn't necessarily had a formal introduction as being a member of the Bloodline. We know that The Rock, coming out of Survivor Series, had two people on his hit list, two people who disappointed him and let him down at Survivor Series. One of them being Seth Rollins, the other, the WWE Women's Champion, Ivy Nile. He said he would deal with both accordingly. We saw with Jacob Fatu, he zeroed in on Rollins. Then we saw Nia Jax turn her attention towards Ivy Nile. And so the Bloodline, they've already got the tag team titles we see here. The world title with The Rock, the High Chief. They're looking to add the WWE Intercontinental Championship and also the WWE Women's Championship at Starrcade. Berto now in the driver's seat here. Drop kick. Rolls Tongaloa over. Only gets a 1. The Bloodline, who, like we said, defeated Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They didn't do it alone. They did have some help. The Rock contributed to that victory as well as Jacob Fatu. DDT goes for the cover. An Angel in to stop the count. Tonga again. And 3, and that'll do it. The Bloodline successfully defending their tag team championships here. And here's Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. We have not seen KO and Sami since they lost the titles. They are back in a big way, and you gotta think that the High Chief, The Rock, not gonna be too happy with what just went down here. Next, we're gonna have a submission match. Pete Dunne will be taking on Gunther. Gunther wanting a little bit of a warm-up to his Fight Pit match coming up at Starrcade against CM Punk. And the rules of a Fight Pit: no pinfalls, no countouts, no disqualifications. You are locked inside of a cage, and the only way to win is by either knockout or submission of your opponent. You can kind of look at it as MMA rules, UFC rules. And while Punk has definitely kind of had Imperium's number as of late, he has been barred from the arena tonight. But one thing you got to keep in mind when it comes to CM Punk, in matches in his career, we can really look back at his time in the UFC, his very short UFC career. He hasn't exactly fared well under those rules. And with maybe the 2 worst nights in Punk's professional career taking place inside of an octagon, this one will be inside of the fight pit structure. But he's getting in there with the ring general, Gunther. And you got to think, locked in a space, Gunther, he's going to try to do some things to try to give himself an advantage. And you know Punk is going to be expecting that. But it's going to be interesting to see who will be able to get the other to tap, or who's going to have the ability to knock out the other. We know Punk has got submission moves in his repertoire. We know he's got some knockout ability. The GTS is a move that can knock somebody out. Dunn here, not able to get Gunther to tap. And you can look at the chest of Gunther, and his back just beat red. It's great that he's wanting to get a little bit of a tune-up, a little bit of a workout in, heading into Starrcade. But Pete Dunne has clearly done a number on the ring general. Gunther having some trouble getting Pete Dunne to tap out. And delivers another power bomb. And then now with a rear naked choke, the same move that Mickey Gall used to get CM Punk to tap in his UFC debut is enough for Gunther to get the victory and get Pete Dunne to tap out here on SmackDown. Now it's time to run through the WWE side of the Starrcade card. Braun Strowman puts his WWE United States Championship on the line against Karrion Kross. Nia Jax, with the blessing of The Rock, will challenge Ivy Nile for the WWE Women's Championship. A match we just talked about inside of a fight pit. It's going to be CM Punk and Gunther, and the only way to win is by knockout or submission. And then Seth freaking Rollins puts his WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line against The Rock's right-hand henchman, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. And now, speaking of The Rock, the High Chief of the Bloodline, the final boss, the man that still calls himself the People's Champ, and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, The Rock. Rock has been pretty quiet since Survivor Series. We've not seen much of The Rock, but we have seen the Bloodline as a whole make their presence felt not only on Raw and SmackDown, but also last weekend at Tribute to the Troops. You got to think he's going to maybe lay out what he wants to see at Starrcade. We know the Survivor Series and Halloween Havoc before it, both big nights for the Bloodline. Will Starrcade be as well? The Rock says that after what went down earlier tonight, he will deal with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn later. Tonight, it's about Starrcade, and it's about Jacob Fatu and Nia Jax bringing more gold to the Bloodline. Seth Rollins and Ivy Nile let him down at Survivor Series. But he wants to talk about somebody who impressed him, Braun Breaker. And he wants Braun to come out and join him in the ring. And out comes the badass. Braun says it was his pleasure to do what he did at Survivor Series and be the last man standing for his team. Rock says, as a show of gratitude for what you did at Survivor Series, and because I'm the High Chief, I am entering you in the Royal Rumble as Entrant 30. Braun says, thank you, my High Chief. So there you have it, our first name announced for the Royal Rumble, Braun Breaker, Entrant 30, thanks to The Rock.